What's up, guys? Spin Firearms here. Now, the Glock 43X has been one of the best carry guns ever produced, in my opinion. For me, it's a little bit too long and tall in that direction, but for a lot of people, it's not a big deal because of how thin it is. It is Glock's #1 seller, and it's Glock's main option for concealed carry, even though I think the Glock 26 series is better. For the average person, that's what they like, and that's what they can shoot. The average person can pick up a Glock 43X and shoot that thing really well, right? So what has come from that? Well, obviously, copycats. People always talk down on Glock. Always talk about Glock perfection, not being there. Even though what Glock perfection means is the reliability, the parts, the quality. They put everything into it. They don't cut corners. Yes, they still have problems here and there. Every company does. But chances are you're not going to have any issues with them. But it's funny, everyone talks down, but everyone copies. Look at Ruger and Magpul, their new release. Look at PSA, the Daggers, that's all copies. Look at CZ internals for the P10 series. Look at Walther internals. Look at all this stuff. They're Glock copies, and it's for a reason, right? The Glock system and system tolerances just work. They just run. It allows you to mix match parts, customize it however you want, and it's still going to run. You just got to use some pretty quality parts. Now, what else has come from that, right? Frames. They say Glocks aren't modular. They are. You have so many options out there for frames. This right here is the Micro Dagger lower. It came completed because I wanted to try it with the lower internals. We're going to be running a Glock upper with PSA lower and internals and a PSA mag. So we're going to be testing it. I don't need the comp slide. It's a 9mm. It's not... There's no recoil. It's just fine without it. We're going to be running a different upper, which I'm not done with yet. But for the time being, we're going to be comparing these two and just give you guys my first thoughts of how that lower runs with Glock OEM parts in an upper. And by internals, I mean like the springs, the plunger, that whole sort of thing, right? Obviously, it's an aftermarket barrel and slide. But this is the SCT-43. And this is my favorite Glock 43X frame so far. We're going to see if I like, because I like this better than the original. So I'm going to see if I like it better than the Dagger, right? This also has the Trigger Shark trigger. Currently, he is working on, and in the works, I'm making one of these for the Dagger. And a lot of people complain about the Dagger triggers, so that could be a huge, huge win for people who like the micro daggers. I mean, huge. Check this trigger out, guys. Code SPN for 15% off. Look at this. It's just ridiculous. All the slimline Trigger Shark triggers are unreal, and I haven't even adjusted this. This is how it came from the factory. You can adjust this with the tool they send you. You can make it better, shorter, less over travel, everything. Check this out. Crisp, clean, about 4.5 pounds. I mean, just accurate trigger. You're not going to move the handgun while shooting. It's just the perfect defensive trigger. There's a nice, defined, clean, relatively heavy wall. Not too heavy, but heavy enough for self-defense, right? So he's going to be making this for potentially the Micro Dagger. He's working on it right now. So code SPN for 15% off. You will not ever regret it. Trust me, it's the best trigger out there. Anyway, so that's the SC43 frame, right? Obviously, the Glock 43X frame has no texturing, no stippling. Mine doesn't even have a rail. This has memory pads, stippling up here, stippling here, this line pattern on the front and back. That actually feels really good and natural in the hand. And that's where the 43X and the Micro Daggers and stuff like that win. It feels great in the hand. Let's check out the Micro Dagger. Let's see how it runs. Or how it feels. Let's see. Throw this upper on there real quick. And... oh, yeah. Boom. I think that looks pretty good. Not going to lie. So here's my opinion. This definitely, quality-wise, feels better than the SC43. Quality-wise, I don't think it feels any better than the 43X, but I don't think it feels less in quality. The texturing is much, much better than the 43X. I mean, it's not the most texturing in the world, but it's so much better. It's like a very subtle sandpaper, if that makes sense. Obviously comes with a rail. And right here you have these little memory pads, so I like that. That's not going to come on the 43X. So you're going to be spending $25 for grips every year, or, $150, $200, $300 for stippling, depending where you get it done and what pattern. But overall, like I said, feels better quality than the SC43 lower, 100%. I really like this part right here. It sticks out for almost like a natural mag well. And it's very natural. Even though my hand sits on there, it still feels good. It's not too quick to poking outward, right? Check out this side. And then on top of that, they have these little cuts and divots right here. So if you do have a malfunction, you can get some leverage and rip that mag. Now the big difference is, the reason why I'm going to like that Trigger Shark trigger, if once he puts it out for this lower, is you have the hinge trigger. The hinge trigger is I'm not the biggest fan of it, right? Because it doesn't do much. I get that it prevents you from pulling up here on the trigger, but still, the whole majority of your trigger is this. It's still wide and big. The thing about a trigger dingers like this is it's such a small piece that it's very hard to hit it from any angle, preventing it from accidentally going off. This is 50% of your trigger, basically, surface area-wise. So, I do like the Trigger Shark trigger and hope they put it on there. Let's check out that trigger pull, though, with these uppers. I mean, look at that, though. So, it's very, very, what do you call it? Low weight. Little sponge. Not bad. And crisp, clean, I'm not even gonna lie. And that's the lower from PSA, right? Not bad. Very little sponginess, I will say. It's actually a pretty nice break. It's going to be heavier than that Trigger Shark. Obviously, much further trigger pull. I would say about 5 pounds, 5.5 pounds, right? But like I said, if Trigger Shark does end up putting that out, code SBN for 15% off. You can get it for your 43Xs right now, but my favorite is on the Glock 42. It feels absolutely ridiculous. But this, yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Feels good. In terms of other parts, the quality is decent. I wouldn't say it's up to Glock OEM parts standards, but not bad at all. You can take a look at the internals as well real quick. Let's take a look. Rail looks a little, locking block looks nice. Rails look pretty nice. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with this lower. I'm really hoping it runs. And based off the system, it looks like potentially you could use the 43X in it. Not 100% sure. That's what he's testing right now. But, yeah. I like these internals. I really do. They're really nice internals. Now, real quick, we'll throw this back on. I'll show you this trigger again. I mean, this is going to be a huge improvement for the Micro Dagger. Once he gets it all worked out, make sure it runs. I'm also going to test it. I'm going to throw this in there and test it and see if that runs. That way I can get back to you guys. But, oh, man. This trigger in this lower, and we have a winner. I'm telling you, we have a winner. In 15+1, if it runs, we have a winner. For now, this trigger's big. In terms of take-up, a little bit heavier. Not bad, though. I do like this lower. I can't even lie to you guys. I do like this lower overall. I like the way it feels. It feels great in the hand. It's a win. Thanks for watching.